Hello, friends. This is Chris Uncensored, and my disease is worsening. In the past, I've talked about and shared about transparently how I have battled skin cancer. I have talked about how I have recovered from alcoholism. What I've yet to talk about is the very high likelihood that I am suffering from a disease called CTE, which is not to be confused with Trump derangement syndrome, but I am massively triggered. And I want to just fully disclose up front, this is Chris Uncensored, but I suspect what I'm about to share in my triggered moments is likely to bring down this channel, this platform, and end me completely. But I will not be afraid. I'm not going to regurgitate all the things that are on X or all of the other content that has been dissected and sliced apart a million ways from Tuesday. Instead, I'm just going to be authentic and tell you the truth, because I have been wanting to make a video, a reaction video to many different things that have happened here recently. And honestly, being this is not my full-time job, I just have not had the bandwidth or the energy to do so. But right now, I must. And so I do have some confessions to make. I enjoy drinking coffee out of a black Santa mug. And it's got nothing to do with me being racist. I happen to like black Santa. And also, I got a white Santa mug too. And if there were other ethnicity mugs, I'd drink coffee out of them too, because I love Christmas and Santa Claus. And anybody who doesn't believe doesn't get, so you best to believe unless you're just being flat out lied to. Now, I have learned in business. Now, you know what? I got some more confessions to make. I like to read, and I know that probably makes me a minority, but I can build an articulate case based on books I've read. When Money Dies, The Nightmare of Deficit Spending, Devaluation, and get the marbles out of your mouth, Chris, and hyperinflation in the Weimar Republic of Germany. But nobody cares about that. I can also read to you or tell you what I know about what I've learned about Ronald Reagan when I read the book Riding with Reagan, which was From the White House to the Ranch, as written by his Secret Service attaché, John Barletta. But I know that everybody watching this video has already made their opinions about who they've formed and are solidified in who they are going to vote for. So I'm not confused. I don't expect that anybody's going to change how they think based on the rant I'm about to go off on, but nobody cares about Reagan. I can also go on and pontificate about what I read by Vivek Ramaswamy. And if I pronounced it wrong, well, tough. But his book, Truths, The Future of America First, I found to be dead spot on. But white America is never going to accept anything this Indian has to say. So out the window that goes. Also, if you're older and you prefer Bill O'Reilly, well, I got great news for you. His book, Confronting the Presidents, is incredibly powerful reading. But I know nobody's going to read anything, so you know what I think about this book? Nothing. Useless. I do know, however, the future looks bright. So shout out to PBD. And in addition to drinking coffee out of a black Santa mug, I also like to watch all the debates, all of the interviews, and I couldn't help but notice that Kamala did us a favor for the first time in her entire campaign, which is criminal and fraudulent and not to be taken seriously, except that it's the reality. So we must take it very seriously and give her enough rope to hang herself with, which she did last night. And if there is a God in heaven, she's going to be on Rogan soon or on PBD podcast soon. And I can't wait for her to walk off in a 3-hour interview, 3 minutes into it, because her handlers, her puppet masters, her Geppettos will not allow this to go long term. She is incapable of speaking. But in the short clip that I'm about to share, she reveals exactly who she is. And she is who we thought she was. She is angry, resentful, entitled, and she could not contain her emotions sufficiently to answer any of the questions with any form of policy or logic. But we got lots of emotion. It wasn't joy, it wasn't love, it wasn't empathy, it was severe disdain and resentment and entitlement that she had been asked a question, period. And I'm sure the fact that it was a white older man didn't help. But I've watched Trump get dismantled in his debate with Kamala. And yeah, the whole thing was rigged. Everybody knows that. I think I've done videos about it. I'm not going to rehash that. He lost that debate from a public perception standpoint, and Kamala benefited from the joy sugar high, which propaganda media was pushing hardcore, mainlining, and I got a pretty good vein there. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! If I was looking to shoot heroin or propaganda right into my veins, I'd pick one of those two because they are a main line right into my brain, and I might think, oh shit, this whole joyful experience and all of these entitlements and these lies that are being pushed upon us are true. But because I've got some experience in life and business, I know that the Kamala Holmes initiative is not going to work any more than the Obama phones and the promises that Obama made in the past to pay people's rent and subsidize this, that, and the other thing. None of that ever came to fruition, which is why they are losing their base and why Obama is no longer effective. He's a snake oil salesman, and he has been revealed to be as much, just like Kamala is now. So when she was asked in a friendly interview what she would do differently than what Joe Biden did in the past, what did she say? She wouldn't do anything different. Interesting. Thanks for sharing the truth. And then last night, she revealed who she actually is via her personality. You can't make up emotion. You can't make up authenticity. And for the first time, we got to see through her soulless eyes exactly who she is. So we should review it for a minute now before I reveal more about my CTE and my solutions to these problems. And no, I'm not a politician, but I believe JFK when he said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. So I've got a plan, I've got solutions, and I'm going to share them right after this. And keep in mind, every single human being wants to put their best foot forward. Every human being wants to spin themselves to look the best way possible at all times. But most people are wearing a mask. And Kamala mask, got destroyed yesterday.
How many illegal immigrants would you estimate your administration has released into the country over the last 3.5 years?
Well, I'm glad you raised the issue of immigration because I agree with you. It is a topic of discussion that people want to rightly have. And you know what I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, but
right
do you
now,
just a number? Do you think it's 1 million, 3 million?
Brett, let's just get to the point.
So your Homeland Security Secretary said that 85% of apprehensions.
I'm not finished. We have
it's a rough estimate of 6 million people have been released into the country. And let me just finish. I'll get you the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer.
And when you came in ship for the
yes, may I finish responding, please?
Beginning to answer is a stall tactic. Answer the question. No buffer, no story, no bullshit. Answer the question. I believe Brett said there were 6 million. It's more like double or triple that, but I digress.
Please finish. Yes, may I finish responding, please?
What exactly is the point, Kamala? Please let us in on the point, because the question was very specific. How many illegals are in our country on your watch? Period. End of story.
He's the one who talks about an enemy within, an enemy within, talking about the American people, suggesting he would turn the American military on the American people.
We asked that question to the former president today. Harris Faulkner had a town hall, and this is how he responded.
I heard about that. They were saying I was like threatening. I'm not threatening anybody. They're the ones doing the threatening. They do phony investigations. I've been investigated more than Alphonse Capone. He was the greatest gangster. No, it's true. No, but think of it. It's called weaponization of government. It's a terrible thing.
So,
Brett, I'm sorry, and with all due respect, that clip was not
what he has been saying about the enemy within that he has repeated. It's not what you just showed in all fairness and
I'm telling
respect
you,
to
that was the
you.
question that we asked him.
You didn't show that, and here's the bottom line. He has repeated it many times, and you and I both know that.
When people say you and I both know, it's almost 99.9% that both parties don't know and don't agree. But the prosecutor in Kamala is coming out and reframing this into be some bullshit narrative that is completely nonsense. But yeah, there was a point where Trump said he's going to arrest Hillary. And then when he had the opportunity to do so, he didn't, because it wasn't the right thing to do. Yet, we've got Kamala, who is subsidizing foreign illegal aliens coming into our country with all types of incentives, and they are destroying our country from within. They are the enemy from within. And yet, she seems to be completely lost in the sauce. And I love how this interview was cut short, and she says we're going to get right to the point, or whatever bullshit she says, but her handlers cut this thing short because she couldn't take the heat. I can't wait to see how well she does without a teleprompter and a script and a team when she's sitting the handler team, training team, anti-Kamala free speech team, somebody to keep her in line with blinders on. When she goes in front of the leaders of China, Russia, Iran, Iraq, you name it, she can't handle it. She is toast. As my daughter would say, she's cooked.
And you and I both know that he has talked about turning the American military on the American people. He has talked about going after people who are engaged in peaceful protest. He has talked about locking people up because they disagree with him. This is a democracy. And in a democracy, the president of the United States, in the United States of America, should be willing to be able to handle criticism without saying he'd lock people up for doing it. And this is what is at stake.
So is Kamala doing okay?
Nope. She's down, Joe. I think they found out that she's retarded, and now we're basically fucked. Trump is killing us at the polls, so yes, we're going to lose Joe.
Damn it. Wait. What if I come back to run again?
As candidate?
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way, Joe. The only person in this world who is even more retarded than Kamala Harris is basically you. So no, Joe,
on, man.
you're
Just
not going
give
back
another
in.
shot.
Let's let it all play out. Okay, we'll talk later, Joe.
Okay.
Women looking fine up in here.
I'm just happy she's aware that we're talking about the United States of America, which is turning into the communist states of America. But it's very clear, as per Elon Musk and anybody with eyes, that they are creating a dynamic in which there will be only one political party. There will be censorship, just like in Europe, where right now you can get arrested for a mean tweet, you will go to jail. And that's what they want here. And I've got solutions. And I know Donald Trump has solutions. Donald Trump is on the record as stating he will end the war in Ukraine prior to taking office. After he's elected, he's made some pretty bold statements about the things he's going to do, but he's been a little bit sparse on the details. Now, Kamala's lost in the sauce and has no solutions whatsoever, but I thought to myself, channeling the inner JFK that is within me, that dwells within my spirit, I wanted to use my CTE as a superpower and offer solutions which I can provide today. And I'm not a politician, and I'm probably insane, but here's what I'm going to go with, because I know my mind is not right. And I know the things that I'm sharing are for entertainment purposes only, but I've got solutions, and I'm gonna suggest them now, because the truth is, the answer is right in front of us. They talked about they're eating dogs, they're eating cats. My proposal is that we eat the illegals. They're free and they're delicious. And if they're not, well, then they go back to where they came from. But it's time to make eating immigrants, illegal immigrants, great again. And we've got a fentanyl problem. Well, I've got a solution, because Nancy Pelosi has shown me the way in her gigantic fentanyl-filled breasts, which she fed to Joe Biden when he was asleep at the wheel to put him under so that they could bring in Kamala, I came up with the solution. And it's all about free fentanyl, baby. Yes, maybe it will kill you, but that's the cost of doing business. And anybody who played high school or college football who is around my age probably has CTE anyway. So I'll be the first one to volunteer for my solution, which of course is to load me up with fentanyl, baby, put it right in the tip of my yacht and let me go. Airborne division, baby. Drop me over the axis of evil. Drop me over wherever the terror is. Drop me off over wherever the issue is. And world peace will come soon, because I'm gonna skate my fentanyl bomb all over everybody. And everyone will be eliminated. And maybe it won't, but you gotta go out and vote. So vote now, vote often. Only kidding, because you need to have an ID, right? But whatever you gotta do, do. Bring 10 friends, bring all your family, vote, 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 fight, fight, fight. And forget about dogs and cats. Get ready for illegal immigrant rice or barbecue or pizza, because it's coming soon. And from what I hear, it's quite delicious.
Jesse, how have you been? I've been great. I'm back, and you're fired. Hello, all. No need to run. Your fates have already been sealed. You're safe.
Oh my God.
You're safe for now. Hello, nice to see you. Who's your best client?
Jesus. I represent John and Kate Pussy.
Where are you, Davies?
All right, I'm already packing to save myself the indignity.
That's too bad.
Orange, Jesus Christ! Did you lost your mind?